You can tell that I've settled back into this small workshop. I'm running out of space. There are TVs everywhere. TV we're going to look at now was brought in a couple of days ago. Maybe 3 days ago, can't quite remember. And apparently it has a flickering picture. Normally that makes me go, screen, probably nothing that can be done. But the customer said the backlights are flickering too. So, let's just see. Let's put it there. Well, shall we check the model number out first? It's what I would class as a relatively modern one for 2021. UE40JU 6400K. So what is the JU? JU is going to be about 7 years old now. So I know the 55-inch version of this really does suffer with the backlights and the connections of the backlights themselves, but we need to have a little play with this first, don't we? Let's switch it on, turn some lights out, line it up so we can see some bits as we switch it on. Right, well, we have a standby light. Oh, I see what he means about the flickering picture. Anybody seen a Samsung remote around here? There's a Samsung remote, but it's got no batteries in. That's no good, is it? Who has a remote with no batteries in? Okay. Since this is the only Samsung remote I can see. Oh, I've got some cheap battery packs here. Poundland Specials. Let's put some batteries in this. Well, that picture's not flickering now, is it? Doesn't seem to be. Yes, it is. Let's have a look at where the settings are first. Oh, they're quite low. Okay, let's start turning the backlights down and see how far we get, see if it stops the flickering. For some reason, it's not allowing me to go left. Left, 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 left. I can go up and down, but the left button's not working, so I can't turn anything down. Okay. So this is a dodgy remote. That's a Samsung remote, isn't it? Yes, sorry. Right, I found another Samsung remote here. Let's try again. Let's turn it down. Let's go to 10. Still flickering. Interesting. Definitely backlights flickering. Why do you think? Let's have a guess at this stage. Faulty backlight. Faulty backlight has got to be favourite, I suppose, but Ooh. Wow, okay. I don't know how well that is coming on screen. Let's come back a little bit. Well, what do we think? It's got to be one dodgy LED, but there's something in the back of my mind saying check the power supply first. I've seen caps bloat out a bit on these, so bear with while I take the back off and we'll dismantle it and see what we can find. Right, the screws are out. Oh, I thought they were. Let's do our usual trick, which I'm sure on this occasion is not really going to tell us much, because I'm sure the backlights are going to come on straight away, as they normally do, but still flicker. Okay, backlights are not flickering. Isn't that interesting? Don't know if you can see that. No flickering from the backlights when disconnected from the main board. Let's just plug in the main board again. We're on standby, let's switch it on. And the backlights are flickering. Right. Let's disconnect a few things from the main board, like the screen. Oh! Bad luck, old chap. Bad luck. It's looking like a screen issue. Poor chap. As soon as the screen is disconnected, the backlight stopped flickering. As you can probably see. Now we're all back on. And no flickering, but I don't think there's a picture now. Oh, yes there is, and the flickering is back. Let me disconnect the right hand side screen. Still flickering. Let's disconnect the left hand side screen. Backlights go out straight away. They don't like that. They may come back on in a second. Yes, they come on but still flicker. Might be a T-con issue. That may be a T-con issue. Right, the backlights are still flickering, and we're not connected to the screen, we're only connected to the T-con. If we disconnect the T-con, the backlights are fine. Or are they? Are they flickering now? No. You won't be able to hear this, but when they do flicker, the power board makes a bit of a din. I'm sure they've just flickered a bit. I'm just going to have to watch them for a second to see if they flicker and make that noise. Yeah, they flickered a little bit. The other thing I can try and do they don't flicker as much when the T-con is disconnected. I'm going to connect everything back together again. Oops, computer is making a noise and I don't know why. Oh, virus and threat protection, well of course. So if I put this back in, we're all connected again, I think. So the backlight should come on and start flickering in a second. And when it flickers, yeah, they are flickering. When it flickers, I get a crackling noise on the power board. I'm not going to rule out an LED issue here, a backlight issue that we first suspected. So let's disconnect the backlights, whichever way I'll do it that way and see if the I'm going to see if the crackling noise goes away. Yes, it does. So the TV now thinks it's on. Well, it is on, and it'll have a picture. It's just got no backlights. Let me plug these backlights back in. The main board is responsible for telling the power board to switch the backlights on. Now, do we get crackly backlights again? Yeah. I'm just going to put the microphone over the power board and see if you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a crackling noise which goes away as soon as... Yeah. Wow, okay. But why do the backlights not crackle when the main board is disconnected? Let's go again. Surely if there was a problem with the backlights, we've got them on full now, they would crackle. As soon as I put the main board in, backlights come on and crackle and flicker. As soon as I disconnect the T-con, it still crackles and flickers. I'm just going to disconnect a few other things here. Bear with. I've just disconnected the speakers. That hasn't stopped it. Let me disconnect the Wi-Fi and the ER sensor. Still flickering. I can hear the crackling. It's not flickering as much, but it is still flickering. Yeah, still flickering. So, oh, sorry, the Wi-Fi sensor is up here, which hasn't been disconnected yet. I'm going to have to say I think it's the main board. The main board is responsible for turning on the backlights. And when the main board tries to turn on the backlights through the power supply, they crackle. If we disconnect the main board, the crackle stops and the flickering stops. Main board issue, what do you think? What do you think? I'm thinking, well, we're lucky it's not the screen. I don't think it's the screen. Sorry, let me switch some lights back on. I don't think it's the screen, quite simply because we disconnected the screen and they didn't flicker as much, but I can understand that. They calmed down a bit, but they still did flicker. They only flicker when the main board is connected. Disconnect the T-con, slightly better but still flicker. And it's almost a short. There's a crackling if you did hear that crackling. So I think I've got to go looking for one of these main boards, and I have got one up at the unit, so it means a trip up to the unit, which I'm not going to do today because it's pouring down with rain. But just from that, I'm guessing, well, I'll leave this up to you for a day or so. What do you think? You think it's main board? It only seems to be the main board that's causing it. Has to be the main board. Let's stick a main board in and see what happens.